Hey guys, Adam coming at you with Pell's Farm Service. Today we're going to talk about the brand new Kubota 75-3 model. So Kubota's made a ton of changes for this model. They've updated a lot of stuff on it, which we're all very excited about. We finally got one in stock here. It ain't going to last long, so we figured we better get out here and do a video on it. So right away, starting with the side of the machine here, we're going to talk about the new arms. So Kubota redesigned the vertical arms on this to give you a higher, better dumping height. So 75-2 model struggled to dump into some big trailers. This one theoretically is supposed to get up over the sidewalls and be able to dump into it very nice. The next thing we're going to touch on is the solid one-piece cab. So it's a fully sealed cab. So in here, when you got the HVAC system running, whether it's heat, air conditioning, you're getting a lot better seal. No dust is going to come in from the floor plan. When you unbolt the cab and you lift it up, it's a solid one piece. The whole floor lifts up with the cab. So Kubota did a nice thing on that with sealing the cab up very good. You're actually getting some pressure building up inside the cab. We're gonna move around to the back of the machine here and look at the engine bay. This one just happens to be the reversing fan model. So we'll come back here. Open up the door here. They got Kubota put a little safety pin in here just like on all the other models. That way the door can't blow shut on you. So right away looking at the engine bay, very clean, very easy to get to everything. You got your air breather up here. You got your oil filter, fuel filter, hydraulic filter, oil fill, oil check. It's easy to get at. Battery's nice and easy to look at right here with the rubber grommet. But the best part about it is the reversing fan. So if you unlock this top lifts up and slides right out. On the bottom side of the engine here, there's still a standard fan that's blowing upwards. What they've done now is they've added an electric fan on top here to help suck the air through. So you're getting a little better cooling system. And the display will go over to show you how to adjust the time intervals on it. You can set it to where it runs for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your job site calls for. So also inside the engine bay back here, Kubota did a good job. There's some, if you get underneath the machine, there's a couple bolts you can take out some clean out pans. So what you can do is you can take out the inserts on the bottom. When you get in here with a pressure washer, everything's going to be able to blow out of here really easy, even the big chunky stuff. So you won't have much stuck left in here to make it easier for maintenance. Looking at the engine bay, that's pretty much about it back here that we're going to touch on. Very similar to the SSV models where they put the fuel tank now on the door to give you a little better counterweight, especially with a full tank back here. You're going to definitely get that little better counterweight action. We'll move around and check out the inside of the cab. Another important thing back here to notice is the back of the machine. The vertical lift arm ROPS bar is actually moved up a little bit, so when your line of sight back there, when you're turning your head around, is not the greatest. So what they've done is on all the 75-3 models, if you notice the little notch out here in the door, you're getting a nice little backup camera. On the display in there, it'll pop up on the display as soon as you put the machine into reverse, or there's a button there where you can have it to where you're live feeding the back all the time so you can see exactly what's behind you all the time. Alright, so inside the cab here now, Kubota's did a couple nicer things. They moved some stuff around, made it a little more user-friendly. Obviously, you're still getting the double lap bar here. On the older 75-2 model, you had to reach back here to get the AC. Now the AC is right down here, easy, nice and easy to get at right by your left-hand side. They've also put the reversing fan, has a switch in here where you can manually operate the fan, you can turn the fan off, or you can leave have an auto mode, which we are going to recommend everybody leave it in the auto mode. Again, in the display setting, you can set your runtime intervals. So it'll kick on when it needs to, and then it'll run for either 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you decide to set your interval at. Over here on the right-hand side, they did the nice touch display for the hydraulics, the auto leveling, your aux, all your lights and everything are going to be right here on your right hand side. The other nice thing they did on the joysticks is they've actually labeled what every button and function does for your aux settings, which is another nice thing on the 75-3 that they didn't have on the Dash 2. Another thing, if you notice up at the top, the lights on this cab, what a nice thing, they're all LED now. Front and back, you're getting full LED, and they also wrap around the edges a little bit, so you're getting a great visual line of sight at night. It's going to be a nice wide path. Again, in the display, you can set this to where these lights, when you turn the machine off, they can stay on for an X amount of time, especially if you're working at night. You get out of the machine, the light illuminate the area to give you time to get to your vehicle. What it didn't change on the cab was still a nice wide door. So you get the door with the double locks that you can lock out, reach up here, close the door. This one has a rear view mirror in it as well, which is nice. Gives you a little better visibility along with the backup camera and the display. So the door is a nice touch. Just still show over your head. Done. Now we're going to bring you inside the cab and show you what this display is going to do. Okay, so looking at the display here, this is either an all touchscreen display where you can bring it down. If you drag down from the top, you got your backup camera, drag it back up. Or there's this little jog dial right here with back and home buttons that'll allow you to flip through the machine. So on the bottom here right away, see where the jog's at, hit it, pops up on the radio. This is all Bluetooth, will sync to your phone. So built-in radio, don't have to add one aftermarket. The next screen here is you can either be at your home screen where you're seeing all your gauges, or hit it and this is your live feed for your backup camera, so that will be on all the time. Go back to your, and you get in here now, you have your vitals. So with the machine, it'll show you your engine load, all your pressures and everything. And these here, you can drag these and put these wherever you want. So if you decide you want to see your travel pressure left and right, you can bring them up to the top. Your hydraulic oil pressure, you can bring that, or temperature, you can bring that over to all the way to the left if you wanted to. So you got total adjustment in this screen to put the gauges where you want them. Going back here, you got your maintenance chart. So again, it's going to show you engine oil, hydraulic oil, air cleaner element. So these are all your intervals, and these you can adjust in the hour settings. So when it comes time due, you can change your hour settings, put them back to where you want it for your next maintenance interval, and you're good to go. Going back here, you got your duty log. So the nice part is this is a calendar that'll show you how many hours the machine has ran on what day. Going back here, now we're going to the warning settings. So this right here is basically it's your diagnostic center. So if you ever have a check engine light come on, you'll be able to go right in the screen, see what the warning is it's telling you, and you'll be able to know if you need to call your dealer. The other nice part is when the check engine light comes on, if you have your dealer setting this and your phone Bluetooth to it, it'll pop up a message asking you, hey, do you want to call your local dealer? Some codes might require that you call your local dealer right away. Others might just be telling you, hey, you got low fuel. Now coming into the settings screen. So this, you can change everything as normal: date and time, language, unit setting, screen brightness. Here's that auto light shut off that we talked about. So it's going to allow you to get into here. You can set, you got to put your password in, but you can set how many minutes you want your lights to shut off after you shut the machine off. Auto lockout. Here's the reversing fan. So again, management. So again, if you're an owner, you can come in here, change all your user settings. Camera. So you can set your camera settings, you can change the angle and change the image positioning on it, which is a very nice feature. And obviously you got your radio and then back. So the other nice feature on this is where your fuel's at. And when you're outside the machine filling it up, instead of having to worry about if you're going to overfill it and get some spillage, when the machine's off, you can do a sequence of the engine start button and the jog button, hold them. What'll end up happening there is your fuel that's going to turn the display on, you're going to get a beepage, and when the fuel, it's going to give you beeping, and as the tank gets fuller, the beeping is going to become more steady, and when the tank's full, it'll be a steady beep letting you know, hey, the tank's full. You ain't got nothing to worry about there. We do have the owner's password now, so I can get into some of these things here in the settings just to give you guys an idea. Put in our password. Now you can set this function. So right now it's off, but we can turn it on, and now here's our time setting. So we can go in here and adjust the minutes. So if you're on the job site, you can say, hey, I want my lights to run for 10 minutes after I shut the machine off to give my guys time to get out of the machine and pick up whatever they need to pick up and then get to their vehicle. So very, very nice feature there to be able to have. Now we just set the auto light function for 1 minute. We'll go back in here and turn them off. There we go. So we'll get into the reversing fan, show you this. So the intervals. So right now it comes from the factory set at 5 minutes. As a dealer, we're going to keep recommending that you leave that there at 5 minutes, but you can get in here again and change it, and it goes up by 5 minutes a shot. So you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes it'll run for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So we're going to leave it set for 5 minutes. That should pretty much clear all the debris out and keep it cool for a good period of time. If you're really running some heavy equipment and the machine's getting hotter really on a hot day, you can definitely adjust that time up to when the fan does kick on. It'll run for longer. Again, just know if the fan's not running, don't freak out. That fan is only designed to turn on when the machine hits a certain temperature range. Going in here to the user management segment of it, you can get in here, you can go to your user list. So you got your owner, you got your dealer in there. Your dealer's going to want a code. That's the other thing. As a dealer, you're going to want to put a code in there. That way when it comes in for maintenance, you don't have to constantly ask the customer what their code is. You got your own code in there. You can add users. You can change settings on users list. So if you come in here, go to the owner, go to the user settings. So you can do a 2-speed limit, a high flow limit, an engine RPM limit. The touch screen, you can have that to where they can't come in here and touch the screen when the hydraulics are set. The machine would have to be in the locked position to do that. So there's a bunch of different settings in here that as an owner you can set and adjust. So that's pretty much it for the display. Again, it runs through a good amount of stuff. Back to your home setting, you can see you got different kinds of stuff on here. Now keep in mind this machine is one of the quietest ones on here, so when we start it at a low idle, the machine's fairly quiet. Again, we got the door open, both side windows open. Here's your RPM. So when the machine's running, it's substantially quieter than the 75-2 model. So right now, right in the middle there, you see your aux. When you come over here, we got our aux button. If we hit that, we're going to unlock the machine, but if we hit that, it's letting you know, hey, your machine's ready to move. Now we got our standard auxes on. If we come back here and we hold this aux setting, hear it beep again, now our high flow aux is on. So now we're ready to run any high flow piece of equipment that we want to do. And on the joystick right here, okay, you can see you got your aux 3 and 4. That's going to be your constant setting right there, and they still give you the little chart there on each side window to know what's what. Again, on this display here, we got our lights. So that's front and back. There's off. Get your park brake. It's going to be your auto self-leveling. Windshield wipers. Windshield wiper Ross. You got your emergency stop switch that you pull up on, shuts the machine right off. And then you got your DPF inhibit switch, which again, we don't recommend hitting that unless you're inside of a very flammable area. That'll pretty much do it for inside the cab here on the 75-3 model. One other thing we should touch on here is on the top of the display here, you see it's got like a little track and it's set in the middle. You can actually adjust the track speed on this. So let's show you that real quick. So if we go into settings here, so right here is a track response. So you come in here, we recommend as the dealer you leave it set to normal. That way, if a guy feels like it's too touchy, we can drop it down to mild, or if it's not quick enough, we can drop it up to quick. You're going to have to spend some time in the seat to really get to know, okay, do I need it faster? Do I need it slower? And then once you have some time in the seat, you'll be able to notice the difference in that. But that's another nice feature to have. The other nice feature is that this has an auto downshift. So if we go here, we're going to start the machine back up again. But if we go over here on our left-hand stick, unlock hydraulics over here on the left-hand stick, see we just went into rabbit speed. This is an auto downshift, so if we go into a corner or go into a pile and start lifting something, it's automatically going to downshift into that first gear to let us get what we need to get, and then it'll, once you get moving again, it'll click you back into your 2-speed to get you moving across the job site. So another pretty slick feature here on the 75-3.